There you go.
Nice work. Now we're recording. Good job. You're such a pro, man. No wonder
Thanks.
we make you wear about 50 hats around here.
That's all right. Oh gosh, it's fun. I enjoy it.
All right, buddy. Well, let's see. The sun's kind of blocking out. This little thing is so cool. It's got there,
Yeah.
but the glare kind of blocks it. And
Huh?
since we're going to go live here in a minute or go podcast mode. All right, guys, about 5-10 seconds of silence here for my audio guy. So it's real evident. And then I'm going to go into podcast, dude. Hey, welcome back to Silent Sales Machine Radio. This is your host, Jim. I'm excited to do an episode with a guest today, and we've got the screens turned on, the cameras turned on, so that means there's going to be a link in the show notes where you can jump over to YouTube and see the guest that I'm hanging out with today, and I'll tell you a little bit more about him in just a minute. First, a couple announcements. As always, the only website you need if you're thinking and driving today or if you're out and about, no need to make notes. Just wait till later and remember one website link. That's silentjim.com/podcast or just silentjim.com and click on the podcast link. And if you go to the show notes for today, you'll see a link to YouTube and you can come hang out, watch the video. And this episode's actually being done as I'm recording it today live in front of our 52,000 plus member Facebook group, those who could stop in the middle of their day on short notice and join us. So, hey, everybody joining us on Facebook. We really appreciate that today. And you can jump into our group and see Ryan and I hung out for about 20 minutes, actually more like half an hour before we hit the record button, say, with the Facebook community. So there's some bonus half hour if you want to come see that too. And there'll be a link in the show notes and now you can go see that as well. But let me introduce Ryan Reger. We're going to tell a little bit of his story as we go in. His wife, Melaine, have been a part of our community for quite some time. Actually, we're right at 7 years since Ryan and I met. Pretty much, just about less than a week ago.
Yeah.
And some of the story of how he came into our community, he understands leverage. He understands multiple income streams. He's actually written a book on that topic. He's a leader in our community. He's helped us launch several programs, and he's just a core part of what this community has to offer now. And you may have seen his name around, but for those who haven't, I'm going to turn the microphone over for just a moment and let Ryan tell some of the story because there's so many directions we could go today. I just want to hear what's on your heart, Ryan. Ryan Reger, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. I may have told this before, and the very first time I was on the podcast, but it's good information because it's about relationships, guys. And business is relationships. And I think I've heard other people say that, mainly this guy right here. In 2012, I was sharing my screen earlier with the My Silent Team group, showing the actual email that went out that Jim posted about an eBay auction that he had. Long story short, my wife and I were blessed to win that auction. It was a copy of 101 Free Marketing, Jim's book about free marketing, 101 low and no-cost ways to grow your business online and off. Here's the copy that I got as a result of winning that auction. But the value, this book is great and all, but what this actually represents is that I was able to spend 2 hours with Jim on lunch that day. Graciously, he allowed my wife and I to fly up to Indiana to meet him. And that relationship has blossomed into multiple streams of income for both Jim and I. But more importantly, he's been a great mentor, a great friend. I've learned a ton. At the time, my wife and I were selling furniture on Craigslist. And he told us about Amazon's FBA program, how we could send items to Amazon, have them fulfill it, and we could just kind of sit back and have the money come to us, and we didn't have to have everything stored in our home. Of course, it's work, but it was way different than what we were doing with furniture and dealing with delivery companies, and it was kind of a relief because at the time we're struggling with our Craigslist ads, and they were getting deleted, and I was wondering what are we going to do?
Right.
Create income, because I could see that the furniture business was starting to decline, and it was a little bit kind of a scary time, honestly. But God had it all planned out. We won that auction by the grace of God and got to meet Jim, and that's just turned into so many amazing opportunities. So, Jim, thank you.
That was fun. We should probably do a creative eBay auction. I haven't done one of those in a long time. We had a great time with some of those, and it's almost like a cool publicity stunt. But inevitably, the person who sees the most value in an auction like that, because the prize was like the book that you hold up, and I had everybody who had helped me promote and launch the book. I sent it around the country. I think there was 3 or 4 copies. And I had them sign the cover and inside the jacket and all that. And you got one of those copies because you won the eBay auction.
Yep.
But it was such a neat publicity thing. But inevitably, everybody who participated or won or got involved in some way, they went on to be great partners, friends, and leaders. It's the people who see the most value in what you have to offer are willing to put some money and skin in the game. And I just had this conversation with Dan Miller, who's, as we're recording this, Ryan, his podcast episode went live today. You can scroll back in time just a little bit, podcast listeners, and you'll see an interview with Dan Miller. And we were talking about the difference between people who just kind of sit back and consume the free content. And we're not beating you up. That's awesome. If you just enjoy our free podcast, our free content, that's beautiful. But there's something about putting skin in the game, investing, paying a little bit of money. And Dan gives some incredible examples of where that makes a huge difference. That swings the pendulum, and that puts you on the radar of the expert. That puts you on the radar of the team, because our team everyone on our team has something in common. And I know everyone that works for you, Ryan, has this same thing in common. They like to eat and feed their families. So if we're going to spend time creating world-class content, we notice when someone says, hey, you know what, man, you guys are really pouring them out. I'm going to go ahead and invest in a course. I'm going to buy a copy. I'm going to show up to the event and spend some money. And because you guys have invested in me, we notice that.
Yeah.
Those are the people that consistently, like the story you just told. I mean, you paid multiple times more for a copy of that book than you needed to if it was all about getting a copy of the book. But you wanted to get on the radar of a community and leaders who were going somewhere. So that was a tremendous investment. And I would say, what'd you spend? $1,600? Was that the winning bid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second.
Oh,
what number could you have comfortably paid? Yeah, I love putting you on the spot. I know you're a pro. At this point, knowing what you know, what number could you have comfortably paid in retrospect because of what this has turned into for you and your family?
Like if it came around now and I had because then I wouldn't have had that $1,600 at that time was a huge amount of money, guys.
It definitely was. Yeah.
When I write
a question, however you like, but help us put some perspective on that.
Yeah. Gosh, if it came around again, $25,000, $50,000, it would have easily been worth that much, honestly, because of that still would be a good return. But that relationship that I was able to build with you as a result of that, and the guy, Jim, there's going to be other things that we probably do together. I imagine, we just did
foundation.
Just launched the private label course, and we're doing Legends, and Jimmy and I are doing the Replen course, and there's going to be other ideas that come up that I'm going to bring to you. Hey, what about this? Where's this? There's this gap here. How about this? And some you're going to say no to, and some you're going to be like, that's the right idea. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be even more income streams come about because of our
ripple effect is, we're talking about millions of dollars of content and training and courses that's generating tens of millions or more dollars for the people who are consuming that content. I mean, the ripple effects of what happened, it's impossible to calculate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just impossible. And it goes back to relationships. And people are sometimes very uncomfortable tying a dollar figure to relationships. It's like, oh, no. Genuine relationships, there's never money involved. I'm like, that's just not true, especially when you understand the lessons. And I'm not going to dive real deep in this direction, but I'm holding up a copy of Daniel Lapin's Business Secrets from the Bible. One of the things he teaches in there is a transaction is merely the start of, if it's done well, the start of a lifelong relationship that's mutually beneficial from the very beginning. It doesn't matter what the product involved is. The product is almost secondary.
Yeah.
But it's the beginning of a relationship.
Yep.
It's one person with the product, another person with money that sees more value in the product than the price being charged. And so both walk away winners.
Yep.
It's the start of a beautiful relationship, a win-win. It's a true win-win. And that's what this whole community is built on. All our courses, content, the products we sell, it's all about lifelong relationships. And this is fun stuff, man. I don't want to get too random on the listeners. I just want to remind everybody, hey, here's a couple things we're going to zero in on today. This is the content I can promise, and who knows where Ryan and I will go, because we hang out a lot and see a lot of great stories and have a lot of cool stuff to share. But we're going to talk about leverage. And anytime that topic comes up in our leaders, we got about 100 of us who are in the Facebook group that run this community. We're talking about coaches, and we're talking about moderators, talking about people who create content for us, moderate the Facebook group, have some kind of technical role with the team. There's about 100 of us. And anytime the topic of leverage comes up, I always say, Ryan, come to the front of the class. Okay, everybody, watch this guy because he understands leverage. He has leveraged and created value with just ideas. It's like, hey, Jim, what do you think of this idea? Like, yeah, let's bullet point that out. 3-5 bullet points later, we're like, we've just created tens of millions of dollars of value for our community and hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales and courses and products from a simple brainstorm session. Yeah. You're as good or better at that than anybody else in the community. So I want to talk about that. And the other thing, you've got your great book that there's a link in the show notes today where you can go grab it on Amazon. Check out Ryan's book. I want you to show it off, buddy, and talk about it, though. I want to hear about it. And some of the story that you've already shared with us today is in there, as well as a lot of great ideas on building multiple streams of income. And we're both enjoying this flexible lifestyle as a result of enjoying the multiple income stream lifestyle that is only possible on the internet. That's the only place where you can do it this way. So those are the two topics I'm promising everybody. So with that kind of second foundation, man, take the ball and run with it a little bit.
Yeah. So as far as leverage, the webinar we just did in MST a couple weeks ago, my silent team Facebook group, guys, we had one called Spotting Opportunities. I feel like I'm just an opportunity spotter. I have these glasses on that I'm looking for holes in the proven private label course and the PPI course that merged with private label. Their term called golden gaps. Golden gaps that exist on Amazon is what you guys, us that sell on Amazon, should be looking for. Things that customers are looking for but aren't finding it. That's an awesome opportunity to launch a product, to go find it, go source it somewhere. The same thing exists with content and courses. And so I just, and guys, I'm just telling you, it's the grace of God that allows me to, I don't feel like, it comes from me, but I pray for good ideas. I pray for opportunities. I pray for doors to be open that can't be shut. I pray for the favor of God. And I believe winning that auction was the favor of God because, I don't know how many thousands of people were on your email list in 2012, but I certainly wasn't the only one that email went out to. I mean, I bet you have over 100,000 now. What if you had 50,000 people that read that email and I happened to take action and won? I had no idea because didn't you do one auction that went for like 30 grand, the first one? And
yeah, we did. The first, that would
have been way out of my budget. I just never
wrote a book to get in. He still to this day calls it the best investment he ever made. That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that it went for a price that I could afford, it was a lot of money for me then still, but I saw an opportunity there. But as far as it's just looking for opportunities. I see places in our community where I see where people are stuck. I feel like Jenny and I do a really good job in the Proven Private Label course of listening to people. And where are you guys stuck? How can we help you? It's not even necessarily having to ask that question. It's just seeing by the questions that they're posting. Then we come up with product ideas. It's really that simple. The Replen course that Jimmy and I just did was a result of the Legends Conference we had in April in Marion, Illinois. Jimmy was one of our speakers. At the end of his speech, he had so many questions. I knew he had touched on a topic that people needed to know more about and that people were interested in. So went up to him afterwards and said, dude, we got to create a course out of this. Will you help me do it? And so glad that he did, because now we have about 900 people in that Facebook group that are going through his live course. So I just knew based on kind of a little small test group that was going to be something that would people be interested in. So I just look for those opportunities.
And let me play the role of the guy that answers the questions of all the people who are out there going, wait a second, Proven Private Label, Replens, Jimmy, who's that? Facebook group, what?
Sorry,
guys, first, there'll be links in the show notes to all this stuff, okay? So I'm not going to leave you hanging. Go to silentjim.com/podcast. And right here, my mom got this for me. My little, I don't even know what these things are called. It's on my microphone. For those of you who are listening only right now and not watching, I've got a little thing that hangs above my microphone. It says silentjim.com on it. Just put a little /podcast on the end. That's all our podcast episodes. In the show notes, I'll have links to everything that Ryan just described. But Proven Private Label, it's one of the modules. It's a module inside our comprehensive Proven Amazon course. Mm-hmm. We did just come out with some brand new Proven Private Label 3.0, I believe, right? at this point?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every time we have enough new content and enough new strategies to justify it, we'll create a new version of our content and courses, and we'll sell it separately for a time, several months typically, and then we'll roll it for free into the Proven Amazon course, which means if all you want to do is grab one course and just stay current the rest of your life, Proven Amazon course, that's the way to go. If you want to stay cutting edge, spend a few bucks as the stuff comes out, we offer that option as well, and hundreds of people jump on that every time we do it. And that's the provenprivatelabel.com right now, the offer that Ryan and Jenny are in charge of, and they're doing a great job. And then the Replens course, we'll have a link to that as well. That's actually full, closed. You can't get it if you want it right now because we're taking some people through. And to my knowledge, I don't think we've seen anybody refund out. You said 900 people in that group,
There's about
and I could be wrong. Our refund rate is 1% right now across all of our products, which is unheard of in the industry. But I don't think we've had anybody ask to get out of that course like, this wasn't what I was thinking. People are blown away. But we're recording all that content. It will be rolled into a course and launched here within a few months. So keep an eye out on that too. But at the heart of all this is we're creating content that allows you to generate multiple income streams using the internet creatively without big investments and without a whole bunch of new technical skills that are way over your head.
Right.
You're not going to need to learn to program websites. You're not going to have to sit down and study PHP or Java or any kind of scripting. None of this is rocket science. It's like, hey, look over my shoulder for an hour and a half while I do it. No, that's it. Go do it yourself now. It was that easy? Yeah, it really is. We've got that kind of creativity in our content. So yeah, great job. And of the projects that you just mentioned, Ryan, it blows me away how many of them you've played an integral role in. Now that's leverage. And let me give you another example of leverage. Now you came to me, we built a relationship. I trusted you, you trusted me. We did some great things, but it very easily can be done with complete strangers. And we've hit on this recently in podcast episodes too. It's not like it has to be this, it's like, oh, well, you guys have known each other 7 years. Okay, well, I guess I got to wait 7 years to make this stuff work. No, it started happening way quicker. But the point I'm going to make is we have people who go on Facebook right now. On Amazon right now. I'll give you a very specific example. We got an email from someone yesterday or today talking about this. You find a seller of a brand on Amazon who is, maybe they are selling their own stuff, maybe they aren't, but there's a whole bunch of sellers selling on that listing. So it's a popular brand, a fast moving brand, not one of the top 500 brands in the US, not like anything that has a TV commercial or, Heinz ketchup or anything like that. Although we've had some people go after and win accounts at that level. Right. But just to build your confidence, one of these mid-tier brands that has a whole bunch of sellers. And I can tell you this, if they've got a bunch of sellers selling their stuff, they look at those sellers as a total headache to deal with. Because they're beating each other up. They're dropping the price constantly. They're not honoring retail level pricing like they would like them to. So all the retail brick and mortar stores are coming back to the brand constantly saying, what's up with the online Amazon stuff? You're killing us here. Your prices are always too low. So you can go to that manufacturer, to that brand owner, just send them a simple email. I'll do my best to word it exactly how you should word it. Say, hey, I'm an Amazon seller. I love your brand. I'd like to make a case for being your only Amazon seller instead of having a whole bunch of Amazon sellers beating each other up constantly, making your brand look bad. Do you want to talk?
That's perfect.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You send out 10 of those emails, you're going to get a phone call or two.
Yeah.
And you can be an exclusive seller on a hot brand. And they will love you.
Yeah.
Love you.
Absolutely.
Where does your mind go on those topics, buddy?
Oh my gosh. There's a whole... I see opportunities. It's just like if you could have your own Amazon business going on the side here. You have like what Jimmy and Brittany do now. Jimmy and Brittany Smith, the ones who are helping with it's their content for the Replan course. They're at a place where they're not even shopping anymore. They've kind of taken themselves out of the business and they have employees that run it. So guys, you can totally get to that level. You don't have to be at Jimmy's level in sales to even do that. But so now Jimmy would be freed to then think, okay, now what do I want to do? What am I really excited about? Maybe I want to partner with companies. Maybe he's really good at talking to people. So as Brett said about 3 years ago at CES, he says, bolt, don't bounce. So if all these ideas we're talking about in here, guys, you think, oh, that's exciting, relax a little bit. Don't feel like, oh, I have to go after that. Oh, there's a new course that comes out, the replan course. I better jump in there because it's never going to be offered again. No, it'll be offered again. We'll make sure you can get in if you need to. But bolt down your business and then go to those other opportunities. But if you love helping people, there's just so many ways to make money online. And within Amazon, you can sell your own products. You can partner with companies like Jim just said. You can never even have to sell your own products at all. If you're really good at getting accounts, and let's say you have no idea even how to sell on Amazon, well, we have 52,000 people in this group. I guarantee there's going to be somebody that you could say, hey, I'm really good at finding companies that want to work with me. How about you handle the Amazon side and we'll partner together? So, gosh, for me, it's, Jim, you say it all the time. Good ideas are not really good. It's that you need the right ideas. So that's a struggle for me sometimes to filter through all the potential good ideas that are out there to find that right idea. And so guys, if you're out there and you see all these opportunities in this community, you see the Proven Amazon course, which is actually a library of courses versus a step-by-step, I got to do this, then I'll do this, then I'll do this. Don't get overwhelmed. Focus on one thing, get that going, then go to the next one. So
I think that's the importance of community too. That's one of the gauntlets I like to throw down on the whole industry from time to time, and just kind of challenge our fellow supposed experts and leaders and teachers out there, hold us to this same standard. And I think it's a nice standard. And I think it's a standard that you should take with you anytime you're considering investing in courses and content. And it's simply this: show me your community.
Yeah.
Hey, expert. Hey, leader. Hey, guru. Hey, guy with the yacht and the stack of cash. Show me your community. Most of them, 90% of them, instantly, you'll never hear from them again. The ones who do respond might say, well, for the low price of $1,500 per month, yeah, I'll show you my community. Like, no, right. I'm out. What I love about us is our community is free. 52,000 people around the clock, around the world, building incredible businesses, posting results, helping each other with those questions, such as, hey, I'm thinking about going this direction or that direction or this direction. I don't know which is right for me. Can someone help me think through this? Yeah. I mean, all the way to people who have bought a course and they're stuck at a step, or people who are selling $10,000 a day and they're looking for someone who can help them with the problem, right? That's our community. It's very transparent. Yeah. And so the second piece that you should look for, one, the community. Is it free? Is it full of success? And then two is, look at the track record. Google the people. Come on, do your homework, do your research. I'm very proud of our reputation. Yeah. You can dig deep and hang out on Google for days, and you're going to find with hundreds of thousands of people who have bought a course, invested some money. Maybe it was a $5 book. Maybe it was coaching. And you look for people who are going to complain, and you're just not going to find them. Yeah. We're coming up on 600 reviews on Amazon for the Silent Sales Machine book, Ryan. It's like, are you kidding me? I mean, there's some really big boy authors out there that are dying to get 100 reviews. We got 600, and the vast majority are 5-star reviews. So look for that kind of evidence. Don't trust a sales page. Don't trust a hyped up, video and fake social media responses. Those drive me nuts. Right. You can go pay a company to post 1,000 positive social media looking reviews on anything, diet pills, whatever. And people use that for their training. Yeah. And that annoys me. Be smarter than that. And what I like is, one of the things I tell young marketers when they're getting started, I say, if you aim your marketing at fools, you're going to end up with an audience of fools. And that's just not fun. It's just like you put some money in the bank and you have an audience of fools. Right. So we don't go that route. And we trust people to be smart. We don't go big, flashy, shiny. We say, hey, look at our success stories. Believe us or not, meet these people. Come to an event, hang out with them. If you like what you see, maybe spend some money on some of our paid content. So I love the way we do things around here. Yeah. Me too. So glad I found you that back in 03 or 4, whenever it was that I first got the first version of Silent Sales Machine. So man, pretty cool. Way back. Yeah. Well, let's talk about, I want to see your book, man. You got a copy handy? Yeah, dude. Show it off, dude. So guys, it's really small, and it fits in the palm of my hand, and it's so there's no excuse not to read it. It's only 64 pages.
You can read it in less than an hour, probably. I just recorded the audiobook version. It should be done within a week. And it took me less than an hour to knock out the audio version, even with stops and starts of, oops, I messed up, go back. Very, very easy read. I mean, guys, it's Silent Sales Machine Part 2. It's Silent Sales Machine in Ryan's story. Really, I just talk about our story and take the same 3 business models. It's not like, Jim invented how to sell on Amazon or how to expand an audience or how to consult. But I piggyback on some of that same content and talk about how I've used those 3 business models to create an income and how everybody can. And Jim, I was telling you before we started the podcast, the reason I wrote this book is I want more. You say this all the time. You want dads to come home. You want to bring dads home. And of course, we have ladies in our community too. And God bless the ladies that are able to quit their jobs. But every time in internet marketing, you're told to pick out an avatar. Who's your ideal audience? And because I'm a guy and I have a wife and a kid, I really relate really well to those guys. And I imagine my ideal person that gets this is somebody who is, it's a guy that their kid is, hanging on their leg as they're leaving the house in the morning to go to work. And they're fighting back tears because they don't want to go to work. They'd much rather hang out with their kids and their wife and go to the zoo that day. They hop in their car and spend 45 minutes on a commute to a job that they don't even like. Maybe they even hate it. And they are desperate for something else. And guys, I think in this community, we have it. We have the answer for people to create a business, big or small, whatever level you want to be at. The opportunity is here, and look at all the success stories that we have in this community. And so this book, really, Jim, is just about showing people that there is an opportunity. You can dream again. You can have a business that allows you to quit your job or just put a little extra money in the bank. And it's about creating it's called Streams of Income, living the multiple income streams dream. And I feel like my life is a dream. It's a dream. 5 years ago, I'm living the dream of 5 years ago. And I'm just so blessed. And so I want that for more people.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that you created. And when you sent me over your new book, I'm like, all right, I sat down. I'm like, I'm going to spend a couple hours and go through this. I flipped through and I'm like, it took me about 20 minutes because I've heard some of the stories, right? And
Sure.
I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You got to get this out. And it's almost like a mini version of the Silent Sales Machine book, which is the name of this podcast. That's what launched this whole community. It's in version 10.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to sit down and read it, I think it's, 160, I don't remember, something like that. It's considerably longer than yours. And it doesn't fit in the palm of your hand. But your book is it's an eye-opening, like, wow, okay, this is real. These models, and you mentioned them, we called our event the CES event the first 6 times we did it. We're in year 7 now. I got a sign right next to me that I'm pointing to. For those of you who are listening only, it doesn't make sense. But the Proven Conference is coming up. We changed our name this year. But the first 6 times we all got together, we called it CES. And if you're in our community, you heard that many times. That's the 3 business models that we teach around here. And Ryan dives into each of the 3 briefly, talks about how they complement each other, how he's built them into his life, how he's doing them effectively. And the beauty of multiple income streams, if it isn't obvious, is when one stream starts to dry up, that's okay, because you've got other streams that are at any given time ebbing and flowing and rising, and the tide's rising somewhere always in these multiple streams. It's a great way to almost, the visual I even had just in the last 24 hours, I've been thinking, I'm kind of living in the flow. I don't know what 6 months from now looks like.
Right.
But I do know I've got great relationships with a bunch of great people who are very creative, creating success more times than failure. That's our team. And as you mature in this, you'll see, like right now, maybe you strike out a lot more than you hit home runs. As you mature, you hit more home runs than you strike out. And that's kind of our team. We had a lot of home runs around here. We still strike out, but we hit a lot of home runs. So I've got the multiple streams of income. I've got people who are making more home runs than strikeouts. No, I don't know what life looks like a year from now, but I do know that it's going to be beautiful. I'm just living in the flow of that.
Yeah.
I don't have the security of a paycheck. I have the security of great relationships, creative people, and more importantly, a God who I know wants what's best for me, whatever that is. I mean, life's going to throw challenges. I was on the phone just yesterday, Ryan, with somebody who had suffered 2 horrible losses, in their family.
Mm.
And he's like, I'm a Christian, but man, this stuff hurts. This is a
Yeah,
struggle. Life can throw curveballs at us,
sure.
but the money side doesn't have to be one of them. It
Right.
just doesn't. The day
Right.
and age we live in, we're in the land of opportunity with opportunity abundant. I've told the story of the pastor friend that asked me, man, how's business a few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's learned a long time ago not to ask me that question, because every time it's going to be like, hey, dude, I see $100 bills blowing around in the wind everywhere.
Yeah.
And I love teaching other people how to see them too.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Business has
Mm.
literally never been better. When's the best time to start an online business? 15 years ago or today? Kind of like planting a tree, right?
Exactly.
It's just the abundance of opportunity is all around us. But
It is.
yeah, I really want people to pick up a copy of your book, man. There's a link in the show notes. We already talked about the show notes today, silentjim.com/podcast. There'll be a link right to Ryan's book. You can go grab a copy of it. And maybe if you're real nice to him at the Proven Conference, he'll have a couple copies in his back pocket and just give you one. So come up and
Yeah.
tell Ryan, thanks for hanging out with us on the podcast. If you see him at the event, we'll have some copies there, right? Bring along a box for sure.
I will. I'll bring a box.
Beautiful. But
Absolutely.
what else do you want to dive into, buddy? I think we've done a pretty good job here. Anything else pop into mind? Any other stories you want to share, or anything exciting on the horizon?
Gosh, I don't know. Guess I'm just like you said, you don't know what's gonna be 6 months from now. So I'm just always looking for opportunities. Always looking for how can we, Jim. It comes down to how can I serve these people. Really is what it. And when you get to a point in your business when you kind of got some things going and bringing in the income, you can totally focus more on everybody else. And I feel grateful that I'm able to do that now. And what's cool about it though is that when you're still focused on those other people, as Zig Ziglar said, you'll get everything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want. So what's been happening is that as I look for opportunities, thinking, how can I serve these people more? Well, more money comes. And then let's go bless that ministry now. And then, God just brings it back to you. So guys, look for opportunities and jump at them. If you see opportunities in this community, let us know, because Jim and I don't have eyes and ears all the time and know everything that's going on. If you see a course that needs to happen, a book, bring it to us, because we're always looking for new content that can serve this community well. And Jim talks about a win-win-win. I guarantee it'll be a win for you, because when Jim hits send on an email, orders come in, so you're going to get paid. It's a win for Jim because he's going to get paid, and it's a win, but most importantly, it's a win for the community that gets the benefit of that content that you have. So,
beautifully stated. Yeah, we rely very heavily. I'd say the first 3 to 5 years, we're talking, early 2000s. Every newsletter, every course, every PDF that was created, all the content was me. And I may hire an outsourced worker to help clean it up or edit it. It was all me. That was a heavy load to lift. But then my students started succeeding. They started having stories.
Yeah.
And I started saying, hey, how about you share that story?
Yeah.
How about you partner together and you create some content? And it's an incredible business model now where you play that forward 17 years. And I would argue there's more gaps out there than there's ever been before. You talked about the golden gap concept, and we teach people how to find those golden gaps on Amazon, the right products to sell where there's demand but not enough supply. We're better than anyone at teaching that. Same thing holds true in the education arena. There's ideas out there. Danny and I are going to record an episode soon, so look for it, guys. And I recorded one with Jimmy as well already. Look for it soon as well. We talked about Jimmy and replens. So somewhere near this episode, I don't know if it'll come out before or after, because we record these in advance.
Sure.
An episode with Jimmy Smith and with Danny Stock. Look for them. Those are two I'm referencing right now. But just these ideas that hit like bolts of lightning. And it's not, we don't go straight from theory to product. We test it vigorously. We allow a large group to test it vigorously. And when it works and we have evidence that it works, then we roll it out. Some of the stuff we have rolling out in the next 6 months, just mind-blowing. And I've been able to say that confidently for like the last 7 or 8 years. That's why we're leading in the industry in the arena of creative strategies for multiple streams of income. I don't think anyone else holds a candle to what we've got going on around here. There's no university degree. There's no MBA program. There's no, study program, because we're constantly on the cutting edge of rolling out new stuff. But if you see a gap, if you're listening to this podcast right now, you're watching this video on YouTube, you're in our Facebook group, and you're thinking, well, I've got something that's working really well for me. It's kind of a different twist on something they already taught me.
Yeah.
Bring it to us.
Yeah.
That's how we continue to stay on the cutting edge. You are our research and development team.
That's right.
Everybody listening. Right.
That's right.
And Ryan has no advantage there over anybody else. Anyone could have come to us with the ideas that he's come to us with.
Mm-hmm.
He came to us with it. And he said, hey, I think it'll work. Let's test it. Let's see if we can make a go of this. We tested it, works, it's beautiful, and we go with it.
Yeah.
So, I just want to put a call out. Hey, if you've got a story to tell, if you've got content that you think could be developed, and don't get bogged down in the content creation part, because now the beauty of it is we have 100 people on our team. I don't have to create content anymore. We've got brilliant people that can write great copy, create great graphics, all that. That's not the challenge. It's the workable ideas. Those are the golden nuggets that we're digging for.
That's right. So true.
I think this is a great episode, man. And I think it was really cool hanging out with the Facebook community. I'm
very fun.
Grateful that they all kind of stuck with us live today. And for the listeners who are only listening, this is one of those episodes where you probably want to go ahead and jump over and check out the YouTube episode too. But and also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I need to remind you, I'd say about 80% of our episodes aren't on YouTube. So if you're a YouTube only follower of this podcast, man, you got to jump over to silentjim.com/podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And along with all the links of the great stuff that Ryan and I talked about today, you can see all the other episodes of the great people on our team, the great success stories, the creative strategies, because most of the time we just don't put this stuff on YouTube. But thanks for hanging out with us today. And Ryan, any final greetings or thoughts for the viewers? Say any calls or challenges to action before I wrap it up?
Guys, it's totally possible. You can live your dreams. If you're in a position where you are struggling, you feel like you know there's more, you know that God's called you to more. Your wife's at home and wants you to be home, but you definitely want to be there. There is hope, guys. I promise you. And there's thousands of us in this community that are doing it and living it every day. And we're just saying, come with us, join this, get involved in this community. And let us help you. Well, seriously, we have ways we can hold your hand virtually to live the life that you want to live. It's possible, and we love serving because we love those success stories. That's what literally it fuels us. When I get way more excited about seeing somebody send an email or post on Facebook that says, because of this community, I did this. Because of what I learned here, I did this. And man, that's so exciting. And we just want more of them. It's addictive, honestly. I just want more people to live their dreams. So you got to take action.
Come test it out. Come hang out in our community. I'm fine if you commit right now. You're not going to spend a dime with us for 90 days. Just come absorb the free content, hang out, see those success stories, see the real people. We didn't invent the Amazon opportunity, like Ryan said, but what we're better at than anybody is saying, hey, not beyond just Amazon, there are all kinds of creative internet strategies that you can be using to generate multiple income streams. We're better at teaching them than anybody. This is what we do all day, every day. This is what we live, breathe, eat, and sleep. Come see it in action and hang out with us. Hey, this was a great episode, Ryan. Thanks for hanging out today. And Ryan's book is going to be, there's a link in the show notes. Jump over, grab a copy, very inexpensive. He's got the audio coming too, man. You got to grab it, consume it. We talked about all kinds of great links and content today. That'll all be there as well. But God bless all the business building warriors out there listening and watching. We truly are in your corner. We're rooting for you. We see success as something that spreads like candlelight, meaning we can all have as much as we want and share as much as we want. It doesn't cost us anything to share success. It's not like a cake where if Ryan takes a big piece and I take a big piece, there's only a little bit left for everybody else. A lot of people teach business with that mindset. It's a poverty mindset. We don't have it. We have an abundance mindset here. We want you to succeed. We're in your corner. God bless you on that journey. Thanks to our guest Ryan today, and it's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Bless all.